Gru, let's talk. I see you've had quite the career of mischief, haven't you? From stealing the moon to using freeze rays on people who just wanted to enjoy their day in peace. I know you've had your reasons, maybe even felt justified in those actions. But tell me, what did you gain from all of that? Was it truly fulfilling? Did it make you feel whole? Or was it just temporary satisfaction, quickly followed by emptiness? I understand you've got a lot of history with villainy. But Gru, you've also got a heart in there somewhere. You may have hidden it behind layers of schemes and gadgets, but I see it. You took in 3 orphaned girls and cared for them. That was a glimpse of your goodness. Let's be real. Kidnapping them to help you steal the moon wasn't exactly a righteous act. But it didn't end there, did it? You grew to love them. And isn't that where true goodness begins? In love. Gru, the moon heist was big. I'll give you that. But you missed the point. The real treasure isn't in objects, not even celestial ones. It's in the people around you, the relationships you form, and the love you give. You've already started down that path, but there's more for you to learn. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you to completely abandon your creativity. You're an inventor, a mastermind, those are gifts. But let's turn those talents towards something greater. Instead of plotting grand thefts, how about you plot grand acts of kindness? Imagine it, Gru. Using that genius of yours to help people, to make their lives better, instead of complicating them. Remember when you used to freeze people in line at the coffee shop just to get ahead? Gru, you don't need to do that. If you wait your turn like everyone else, it shows respect. Patience is a virtue, and it's one that brings you closer to others, rather than pushing them away. There's power in that, a power much greater than any freeze ray could give you. And let's talk about your minions for a second. Those little yellow guys. Yeah, they're loyal to you, but they're also a reflection of you. They follow your lead. If you're plotting evil, they're plotting evil. But if you shift towards good, think of the impact you could have. You could lead a whole army of minions toward good deeds. Imagine the chaos, positive chaos, of them spreading joy and helping people. Wouldn't that be something to see? A world improved by minion-powered goodness. I know you think being good is boring, Gru, but you're wrong. The truth is, the most exciting, challenging, and worthwhile adventure you'll ever embark on is being good. It's about doing the right thing even when it's hard, even when it doesn't serve your immediate desires. That's where real courage lies. You think stealing the moon was daring? Try forgiving someone who's wronged you. Try helping someone with no expectation of anything in return. That's bravery. And let's not forget your rivalry with Vector. Oh, I know all about that. You two were always trying to one-up each other, constantly outdoing yourselves in the villain department. But do you know who wins in that kind of competition? Nobody. It's a cycle of destruction. How about this? What if, instead of trying to outdo him in villainy, you try to outdo him in goodness? Imagine the look on his face when you're helping people, spreading joy, and he's still trying to launch giant squid missiles. He'd be left scratching his head, wondering why he can't seem to beat you anymore. And Gru, let's not overlook your inner battles. I know you've had moments where you felt like you weren't good enough, or that you had to prove something to the world. But here's the thing. You don't need to prove anything. You're already enough. You were made with purpose. And that purpose is bigger than stealing monuments or creating chaos. Your worth isn't tied to how notorious you are. It's tied to how much good you can do for others, how much love you can share. You've experienced a glimpse of this already with Margot, Edith, and Agnes. Those girls showed you that love, connection, and family are what really matter. They opened your heart, even if you didn't realize it at first. But now it's time to fully embrace that. Lead by example for them, Gru. Show them what it means to be good, not because you have to, but because it's the right thing to do. Let's address your attachment to villainy, too. You've worn it like a badge of honor, but I'm telling you, it's not the title that brings fulfillment. Titles come and go. But the impact you have on others, that lasts. You have the chance to leave behind a legacy, not of theft and tricks, but of kindness and transformation. That's something your girls can be proud of, something the world can remember you for in a positive light. And Gru, let's talk about control. You've spent so much of your life trying to control everything around you, minions, gadgets, even the moon itself. But real control doesn't come from manipulating external things. It comes from mastering yourself. It comes from choosing to do what's right, even when it's difficult. And trust me, I know a thing or two about that. The world will throw all kinds of temptations your way, just like it did when you saw that moon hanging in the sky. But true strength comes from resisting those temptations, from choosing to do good when it would be easier to do wrong. You're at a crossroads now. You can keep going down the path you've been on, chasing temporary thrills, or you can choose something better, something lasting, something that will give your life meaning beyond the next big heist. And I promise you, Gru, the rewards of goodness far outweigh anything you've ever taken. You may not get the instant satisfaction of a stolen artifact, but you'll get something deeper: joy, peace, fulfillment, and who knows, with your smarts, your inventions, and yes, even your minions, you could change the world in ways you've never imagined. You don't have to abandon who you are, Gru. You just need to redirect it. Turn that brilliance toward good. Turn that ambition toward something greater than yourself. Let me leave you with this. It's not too late, Gru. No matter what you've done, no matter how many freeze rays you've fired, or how many dastardly deeds you've planned, it's never too late to change. The world is full of second chances, and yours is right in front of you. You've got everything you need to make that change. The only question is, will you? Gru, I know you're no stranger to ambition. You've always been a man of big dreams, stealing the moon, becoming the world's greatest villain, and yes, even using those wild gadgets of yours to make people bend to your will. But here's what I need you to understand. The greatest ambition isn't found in taking from others. It's found in giving to them. That's where real power lies. You see, when you give, whether it's time, kindness, or forgiveness, you're not losing anything. In fact, you gain something far greater: purpose. You've been searching for purpose all your life, Gru, haven't you? You thought you'd find it in your next big scheme, in the momentary glory of being feared or admired. But that's not lasting. It's like chasing after the wind. You never catch it. But when you start living for others, when you give freely without expecting anything in return, that's when you find purpose. Real, lasting purpose. And you know what? That's where the fun begins. Think about it. All those brilliant inventions you've made, shrink rays, freeze rays, rocket ships, they're amazing. But what if instead of using them to cause trouble, you used them to help people? You could be the guy who solves problems instead of creating them. You could invent ways to make people's lives easier, better, more joyful. And trust me, that's far more satisfying than pulling off the perfect heist. Now, Gru, let's talk about how you treat others. You've had a bit of a rough edge, haven't you? Whether it's with your minions or, let's be honest, even with the people in your way. But you've got to realize that how you treat others is a reflection of who you are. You might think that commanding people with fear or force makes you powerful, but true power is in kindness. Real strength comes when you lift others up, not when you push them down. Remember that time you shrunk the moon and put it in your pocket? That's pretty impressive, I'll give you that. But what's more impressive is the ability to shrink your own ego. Because, Gru, when you let go of the need to prove yourself, when you stop trying to be the biggest, baddest guy in the room, you actually make room for something greater: humility. And humility doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It just means thinking of yourself less. You've already shown glimpses of it. When you care for your girls, you're not thinking about how it benefits you. You're thinking about them. And that's the beauty of it, Gru. The more you focus on others, the more fulfilled you become. It's one of those things that sounds upside down, but that's how it works. The more you give, the more you receive. Now, about your girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, they adore you. And whether you realize it or not, you're their role model. They're looking to you for guidance, for wisdom, and for an example of how to live. Do you really want them to grow up thinking that the only way to get ahead in life is by tricking people or by taking what doesn't belong to them? I don't think so. I think you want more for them. You want them to grow up kind, compassionate, and brave. And here's the thing. You've got to show them the way. If you want them to live with integrity, then you have to live with integrity. The world needs people like you, Gru. People who are willing to change, to grow, and to make a difference. And the best part is, once you start down this path, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner.